Android phones. Fuck y'all phones. That's why you got fucking phone rent, bitch. You're still paying on your iPhone. Damn. Ma'am, God bless you. Maybe go to a Goodwill and get a new phone. That motherfucker got a QWERTY keyboard on that motherfucker. The full shit. That ain't even a palm pad. God bless you, man. I think it's a Goodwill across the board.
Yo, what's up? We back with another edition of the best podcast you never heard of, The Conceited Nobody. This is episode 165. I've been on 165 for the last 3 weeks. Accidentally. Been thinking we had 165, we finally got here.
Always on 160?
Hell no, I've been fucking up.
I never know.
This is 165. If anybody's confused, it's my fault. I actually went on the... You can put them on YouTube. This nigga prove me wrong in front of every fucking body.
We got fact checker
Hell yeah.
in the corner.
We on 164, man.
This on, huh?
This 164.
This is 165. And I'll prove it.
This how we starting off the show, y'all.
This is how ain't no structure. We just fucking
Structure.
know.
What's some extra defense here last week?
What the fuck is the matter? This
I'm not even gonna pretend I'm smoking weed, so I'm not gonna keep up with any numbers.
This is episode 164.
Oh,
You got a structure? What the
With the womp womp.
Hey, This is some fucking
you said 164.
All you gotta do is split this episode in half.
You said 164 like the past 3 episodes. That's what I was anticipating. I was like, no, today's the day.
This nigga too.
I'm gonna tell y'all what's fucked up. Because this is the early stage when y'all recount my demise. When I grew up and contribute to the mass shooting number that Deon was getting us hit to. Y'all can harken back to these last 3 episodes to clearly understand that I wasn't in my fucking right mind. I was confused. And we can go back to 3 episodes and prove this shit. We're gonna get me off this shit. But why in the fuck?
Groundhog Day, nigga. That's what it is. Every fucking Tuesday.
I think I should play a lot of y'all. I think I know some shit y'all don't know right now.
I think so.
I'm out. I'm disappointed in myself, but you already know how we do it. This is 164 as I go into the motherfucking episodes and change it. This is episode 164. You already know who I am. This is La'Taurus, a.k.a. Hardtop Harrison, a.k.a. Dark Skin Thanos, a.k.a. Fan of Facts. We about to have a fantastic show. To my right, we got the man with the master plan. Brought in some disappointing news for the youth today.
That's the champ, though. That's why he undefeated.
The motherfucking champ.
Yes,
Shout out to Juke. How you feeling, champ?
Man, feeling good, tired. Man, I had a good ass gym session. That's all. I mean, that shit was. When you be training like that, you like, man, you not about to beat me. You ain't no fucking way, man. I'm about to beat the shit out this motherfucker.
Somebody getting beat up because this nigga.
Beat the fuck up.
They came in with that I'm gonna beat somebody else's speech.
Man.
He said, hey, all y'all doing? I'm gonna beat somebody else soon.
Golden Gloves canceled. Yeah, that's super disappointing.
What?
2 weeks into the fucking Golden Glove, Indiana Golden Gloves. You know, COVID canceled us the past fucking, 2 years we missed out?
No, it's just last
Just a
year.
year we missed out on the
This
Golden
the second
Gloves.
one now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they canceled. This is week 3. We had fighters advancing on, and everybody in there training hard, and they get the news dropped on them today that the tournament is canceled.
So, same damn
You
day.
know, all that work, that's just like studying a fucking. We gonna put you on Kings of Comedy, nigga. You going over this hard ass script, nigga.
Now.
That shit the day before.
Let's
I mean,
let's-
that's
let-
a
let-
lot.
no. We gonna make this pain adequate. It's like Beyonce said, "Hey, Jerome, I'm away with Ashanti. We're gonna do something to you." And then she call and say, "Blue Ivy got a fever. We can't make it." That's if y'all can top that, go ahead.
I don't know what you would say to him. I'd be like, bring that baby over here.
I got another room.
That's fucked up.
I got a whole medicine cabinet full of baby medicine.
We need a camera, baby.
What's the temperature? Is she 101 or 102?
Hey,
I got
as you peruse WebMD, you gonna WebMD becoming a fucking expert and shit.
I'll be like, well, just sit Ashanti. You can, take care of the baby. We'll be here when you get here. Take your time.
First, where Jay-Z? That nigga deadbeat now? Why that nigga want his baby?
At least where his nanny at.
That nigga do a double entendre and get this baby healthy. But to my left,
Here we go.
to the left, we got the motherfucking man of the hour. Nothing but sauce to the left.
Nigga, it's your boy Jason Richie, a.k.a. Go Jason R, a.k.a. Vanessa Williams, a.k.a. Senor Tezito to the Latino people, a.k.a. Send me the cash if you got it, a.k.a. Marty Mayhigh, a.k.a. nigga, watch my fucking YouTube page every fucking Monday. New video.
That nigga be running out of gas, don't he, too? That nigga be running out of gas. It just trends down. It be, yeah.
Because I gotta bring it down to the serious note. Like, nigga, I want you to listen. Please.
Hey, Jason,
Every Monday, more material Mondays.
what we was talking about haircuts last week when niggas don't notice other niggas got haircuts and shit like once or twice a year. I hate that I looked at Jason, he was leaning forward and I seen his shirt. I said, this nigga got on Wish shirts. One of those shirts off of Wish.
Nigga, I wish I had another shirt that was plain.
Hey, that's that Assassin's Creed shit.
Hell yeah, nigga, you niggas be done. I'm 2021.
Shit. Shout out to Jason. I'm going to ask you about your weekend just for the sake of conversation. Of course, I was there. You dragged me to the Blue Oyster once again.
Is that a police academy reference?
Yes.
This nigga said police academy, my nigga.
I stumbled into some rainbows, courtesy of Jason.
Yeah, I did a show, Deon. I did a show at Eddie's at the Fort, Lisa Sears show.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
You don't gotta say no more.
Yep.
I'll
not to me. You might want to tell the audience.
I'll tell the audience.
So yeah,
Chicks with dicks.
it wasn't no chicks with, well, look. Their dicks were fully sanded off, nigga. They got new, they switched all the way. They was done. I don't know, nigga. It was a variety. It was an LGBT, BLT, nigga, that day. It was a gay sandwich.
BLM.
And I was the token minority for the night. It was fun. It was a 90s party, too. So I went up there and
Jason turned out that motherfucker like Urkel Dwayne Wade. He had a glasses.
The joints. Yeah.
Okay.
Jason.
I was one of 5 people dressed up in 90s clothes.
So you was on like the minority in that motherfucker?
Yeah, and I was wearing some backwards overalls.
Don't LGBTQ, don't they like black people though?
Nah, we not in that rainbow.
Emasculated.
We not in that rainbow.
If you emasculated,
It's all about sex.
it's all about what?
The sexuality.
It's all about understanding.
Whatever the fuck. I'm
all
trying to
about
make it make
compassion.
sense, nigga. I don't know.
It's a Rubik's Cube. It's not a rainbow, it's a Rubik's Cube. It was a pretty decent, I'm going to be honest.
I apologize.
I knew I was getting the 2 polls. And I didn't get all the way in. But I'm going to be honest, like my critique of the show, it was only one funny person. I'm not saying that just because you here. The rest of the people, man, it was like, let's try some shit. That's how it was.
Hey, you know we doing comedy over here. You ever did it? And then they brought somebody out of retirement, and they was actually one of the funniest people.
But what it was, I mean, shout out to what's her name?
Lisa.
Shout out to Lisa. She was celebrating her birthday, so
packed it out.
when you celebrate your birthday and shit, you do what the fuck you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Whether the people who come in and not are pleased with your performance or not, I feel like she is giving a fucking Thursday Night Live monologue. You know, it wasn't quite Saturday Night Live. It was some kind of monologue. I don't remember. I think she was doing a set, but I can't guarantee it. I can't swear up on it. I wouldn't bet.
Dress rehearsal for Saturday Night Live.
It definitely was dress rehearsal and shit. She was saying some shit like, I don't remember nothing she said, but it's my birthday. Outside of that, but she got love from her community, and it disappointed me when I say her community. And Jason was on the stage, and I got attached to that community.
I'm not in that community. I'm not at all.
Jason. Shout out to Jason, man. He was token, man.
I was.
He was token. He was token. He felt, I looked at Jason, and when you outside of a situation looking in, you get more perspective. I said, damn, that's what I look like on all them trips to the baseball field as an 8-year-old only black in the car. I said, that's what the fuck I look like and shit. So, you know what I'm saying, I could appreciate it. It was a good show, good performance from Jason. He always do his thing.
And that was just a good, the crowd was ready to laugh. It was a good crowd.
They was really receptive to him.
They ain't been, niggas was telling me like, I ain't been out the house in a year. I'm like, damn. I'm like, and you ain't never seen other people like, I ain't never been to a show and I ain't been out the house in a year. I'm like, on top of that, fuck. So,
yeah, you can capitalize on these people, man. It's like they done been reverted back to the Stone Ages and shit.
And while you saying that, it make you happy if you like an old school comedian that don't really fuck with social media, kind of like I am, because I really don't. I just do this shit.
Right.
I'm like, yes, you niggas is getting off your asses and coming back to the club so we can say some real shit, so everybody ain't getting fucking canceled via internet before they get to the club. So my bad.
He good. Jason did his thing. He even had a moment where I thought he was gonna go, as they say, nuclear. Somebody was right across from me within like 6 feet, no social distancing, and she was on her phone, and Jason did not like it. Jason almost got violent.
Nigga wasn't even on the phone.
What was they doing?
Niggas just was loud as fuck in the front, right damn near sitting on the stage with this bright ass green fucking hat. Damn near looked like one of them bitches with the little helicopter on the top of that bitch. I was like, shut the fuck up. Like, what the fuck are you doing? I had to smooth it over at the end because I was serious.
He did, man. He lost his character. He realized he said, shit, hold on, I'm representing every fucking black person on earth. I don't want to think we all angry.
I was just like, oh shit, this about to go south in 5. Let me go ahead and just, I love you.
But it's good to see Jason getting back to work with this pandemic. He had 2 consecutive weekends of getting up on the stage. This time they had to dress him up and parade him around. It's cool. Hey, turn around for me, boy. Oh, you need to turn around. I said, oh, Jason, you got some dignity. Stop. No, but it was a good event. It wasn't nothing bad at all. You needed something to do. The waiter was shitty.
Yeah, everybody it was unanimous.
The worst fucking way. Listen, I done had some bad service. I think he was like community service. Because he had the attitude of somebody like, boy, if I had to be here, I wouldn't be here.
They like, nigga, I just came, and they was like, go get that from that table.
This is the first time I lambasted a waiter on the show. I've never had to talk bad about a waiter, but I wish I had got his name. What was his name?
I said, go ahead, Karen.
Let's see. I was very upset with this service. I don't know why he was here. That's good as I get. That's good as I can get. If I could, I'd have called the police on him. You might have had a reason for it.
You don't gotta have a reason.
But we did all that shit. We did all that without introducing our fucking guests. I don't think we went that long without introducing the guests, the man of the hour. We are definitely in the building with Deon Curry, famed comedian, world renowned. As the crowd goes, damn, everybody knows this. You brought the crowd out. Shout out to Deon Curry, comedian and podcaster.
Yes, sir.
But it's like a person. I hate to reduce a person to a title, you know what I'm saying? He's his mother's child. You know, put a little personality on with it, but how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm happy to be here. It was funny because I thought we were doing this over Zoom because I've been podcasting all throughout the pandemic over Zoom.
Yeah.
And when I talked to Jason a couple weeks ago, he's like, yeah. We can get together. And I'm not thinking it's an in-person thing, so I'm just at home fucking chilling. And then he hit me up like, yo, we still good? I'm like, yeah, we good. Send me the Zoom. He's like, nigga, what you talking about? He's like, oh, I got to leave the house? So here I am. I'm happy to be here. But next time, let me know.
Hey, appreciate it. I didn't even know what. I'm so
The day of ass nigga right
It's crazy that we so far removed from thinking about like, damn, I gotta leave the house.
Yeah.
Like the first thing is Zoom.
We've been doing live shows.
The whole fucking year. Nigga, we was over there. Nigga, we was in the corner.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm happy to be here. It's good to be out the house. You know what I mean? Just things are starting to open back up. We were talking about the Golden Gloves got canceled. I was supposed to do Just for Laughs last year. And that shit got canceled literally the week of.
What's Just for Laughs?
Dwight, I think, right?
Just for Laughs.
Is that the shit in Colorado?
It's a Montreal comedy festival.
Oh, okay.
But since COVID hit, that shit got shut down. But thank God they're starting back up this year. And so I got an audition next week.
That sucks.
Yeah. It'll be in New York this year if you can't do Canada. So it's like, nah, fuck you, Americans. And I'm playing for it.
Generic drugs have been working the whole time. Fuck y'all, stay home.
And it's only generic by American standards. That's how they try to dissuade you from going up there and eating Viagra. That ain't no blue pill. That's you know what I'm saying? That's light gray. I don't go up there and get that cheap
I'll
shit.
go over there, kidnap the Canadians and bring them back. Y'all gonna be Americans?
And we are all lost.
Yeah, if I go over there and kidnap some Canadians and bring them back over here, they gonna be Americans. I said I would have told them I ain't American.
What was the? I think it was stupid that you had to re-audition for some shit.
That's what
No, it's not.
It's
So they just moved the audition. So they canceled the whole fucking festival.
Oh, so you never even auditioned last year?
Yeah, I was supposed to. In the
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought you already
they
did.
canceled the whole fucking thing.
So you ain't got selected last year?
I was part of the audition process. That whole thing got canceled. So now that's starting up, and it starts next week. So I'll go do what I was supposed to do last year, this year.
And it's a stand-up.
Yes. Yeah.
I understand auditioning for a movie role, but how do you stand up for like stand-up? I mean, audition for stand-up.
So it's a new face showcase. So they're just looking for new talent who people haven't heard of. So a lot of these guys have been doing stand-up for as long as I have, 15 years or plus. But they're not mainstream. They don't have big ass followings. You don't know. So you're just basically they're trying to showcase newer comics that most people haven't heard of that aren't actually new comics. So
You just go out there and say like your best.
I'm gonna do I got 6 minutes. I'm gonna do my tried true. What I think they want to hear, not what I want to say. What I think they want to hear.
It's clean.
Relatively. I mean, I can be there.
So that's like a hell of a text, ain't it?
Yeah.
I can be dirty. You know what I'm saying? That's what you into. What so it's like some damn man. I'm about to say so it's like going on Johnny Carson. That was my fucking point of reference I was about to go to, man. I'm like fucking 5 hosts later.
Well, it's industry in that regard.
Yeah.
So there will be agents and TV writers and stuff like that, casting people for tonight show and all that. It's just like
I love stand-up comedy. And I love boxing, which is weird because I had a stand-up comic and a boxer as co-host. And when you said when you mentioned the fact that it's comics who not well known, people don't understand, man. Just because you don't know somebody, they're not well known, that they probably one of the funniest people on earth. You know what I'm saying? And just like with boxers and stuff, people think just because you're not fighting on the pay-per-views and shit, you're not one of the best fighters in the world. I just thought that was something unique that stood out for me with you saying that. But we are gonna have a fantastic show. We're gonna get more into what's going on with you, the genesis of your career, where you at right now. Talk about the podcast. You want 2 podcasts, right?
3 podcasts.
Boy, I'm the hardest working man in podcasts. We're gonna talk about that, but first let's talk about the realest nigga ever. At least he's according to this woke society and shit. They need to redo the history books and put him in. We knew that he was serious about his business when he started taking pictures in black and white. He took his braids down. He stopped showing pictures of his white family, and he picked out his afro. None other than the world-renowned New Age Malcolm X, Colin Kaepernick Luther King Jr. Colin Kaepernick is back in the news today. This is a TMZ article I'm going to read and we'll talk about it as we go. He has a book coming out titled Abolish for the People, the Movement for a Future Without Policing in Prisons. In order to eradicate anti-blackness, we must also abolish the police. A quote by Colin Kaepernick. That's the core message of the new book being published by the NFL quarterback who's arguing for the abolition of policing in prisons. It is set to drop in October and features 30 essays, including one from himself. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna offer my commentary as I read this, and I'm gonna ask a question. Since ColinKaepernick started with his taking a knee thing, we haven't heard him talk a lot. You know what I'm saying? Well, I heard him at the when he was trying out for the football team. It's like, you know, he had a re-audition. You know what I'm saying? He out there and he said, "Stop being scared, stop running." I heard him say that, but what was you gonna say?
No, I was like, was he quiet all last year?
When he tried out last year, didn't he? When he was out there, they had him out there throwing balls and shit.
That wasn't a real audition.
Yeah,
They were trying to get rid of his ability to sue them. That whole fake contract situation where they, like, you know, we'll give you a tryout, but you gotta sign all this paperwork.
He wasn't suing them at the time. He already had to settle them, remember?
That's what I'm saying. So
okay,
that was because the contract that the workout that they were going to set up that was for the league was in order basically for him to sign away any more rights that he had legally.
Yeah.
As far as taking action against the NFL with the blackballing situation, he had already settled, but they were still colluding against him, so he could sue them again. And that's why they were like, well, yeah, we tried to offer him a contract, but he didn't want to take it, and so he doesn't want to play, and that's how the NFL.
Colin turned down opportunities for contracts and tryouts from different teams, namely the Ravens. It was a few teams that offered him tryouts and stuff that he didn't.
Yeah, because he had to sign away. They were never going to give him a job.
You don't think Colin could have got back in the league? If
they were never going to give that nigga a job.
Why do you feel like that? Do you think he deserved it?
Why would they wait 4 years to give that nigga a job? If they really thought he could play football.
Okay. Do you think it's based on his politics or
it's
his ability?
absolutely based off of his politics.
Ability
They don't give a shit. Look, if they can give fucking Blake Bortles another job, you telling me they can't give Colin Kaepernick another job? Blake Bortles done played on every shitty team and been shitty the whole fucking time.
Blake Bortles had a couple fantastic fantasy seasons. We ain't gonna do no Blake Bortles slander. Blake Bortles, when he snuck up in his first couple years and shit, I'm like, this sorry motherfucker. I'm not saying he was good. He was trash. He was trash as fuck.
Pick Blaine Gabbert. Pick another.
Terrible. But I mean, the majority of quarterbacks in the NFL terrible.
Exactly.
They just tall and white.
And they tall and white.
With Colin Kaepernick, though, do you feel like the NFL is a brand, an organization, it's a job, part of corporate America?
Sure.
And when you go into corporate America, don't you gotta, you know what I'm saying, do corporate America shit?
For sure he did.
Do you feel like
he took a knee quietly though? Y'all didn't have to ask him no questions. He didn't say shit. Y'all asked him.
You looking at that shit on surface level, it looked like some honorable shit. But Colin Kaepernick was funded by Nike and other Marxists and shit to bring about this kind of shit. This ain't just some old, this nigga's the new Harry Tubman, or this nigga's the new Rosa Parks, which he is. And in theory, the new Rosa Parks, because a lot of people don't know that the boycotts was staged too. But Rosa Parks, he was a patsy, he was a fall guy. He was dressed up for what he did. But Colin Kaepernick got hurt. Like Nike, they made
$120 million off that.
And he getting a chunk of that. He's being financed. So I mean, Colin Kaepernick.
That doesn't change the fact that what he said was true.
What did he say? That's true.
That police are killing people and getting away with it.
And what was remarkable about him saying that? Like, I mean,
he was the only athlete that did it. It's the platform is what you're looking at.
And
so if you have somebody who people look up to or people know, and they say something that challenges the norm, it's on us all of a sudden to hear the message and then make a decision based off what that message is.
What norm did he challenge?
The fact that not all police officers are good people. So he brought that to the mainstream that, there is a systemic injustice happening.
And I'm gonna be honest, was that the first time that you was aware of this?
No. As a black person, I've been aware of it my whole life. What I'm saying is he told people
that non-black people
that weren't paying attention that there's an issue going on. And he did it on a platform where people who would never take the time to find that message had no choice but to hear that message.
And what was the outcome of that? Do you think, like, did they start caring? It
started a conversation. Now, the conversation that's being had as of today is people go look back and go, we probably should have listened to him. we probably should have did some more investigating instead of turning it into it's all about the flag. Because you saw in 2020 when George Floyd died that, had we addressed this 4 years ago, we might not have had George Floyd being choked out by Derek Chauvin. We might have been able to actually have a legitimate conversation about the policing system in this country. It's too late for so many other people because we didn't want to have the conversation, because instead of talking about the issue of police brutality and how it adversely affects minorities, people were more concerned about respecting the military. And then you watch people go down to the Capitol and fucking kill police officers because their guy didn't win the election.
And so, with that said, George Floyd got killed when?
2020.
And we had the Juneteenth, we had Nike, we had all these different things, sending emails and shit, apologizing to black people for us being black. Since then, have any other black people been killed by police?
Mm-hmm.
So with the conversation that took place all last year, how has Colin Kaepernick bowing or George Floyd murder happened? Like, what has changed? Because when you say, because prior to them addressing Colin Kaepernick from the standpoint of, okay, we're gonna listen, y'all, we're gonna have a conversation. You say it didn't happen, so theoretically it leads to a George Floyd death. So after George Floyd died, everybody giving black people a conversation, quote unquote. Even with that said, there was still black people getting killed right after that by the police. Nothing changed. So what, you know what I'm saying? So if the conversation occurred, but it still happens.
Now that we're
like
having the conversation, you can pinpoint who is and who ain't on our team.
Who is and who ain't on our team?
That's the conversation that we need to have now, because everybody's aware of it now.
Everybody been aware of it.
That's the thing. Black people have been aware of it, but it hasn't been a mainstream issue until white America watched George Floyd on camera have his neck knelt on with a nigga.
Do you think white people cared about that?
I think they do, because they didn't have a choice because of COVID.
So if you don't have a choice, then it's not a care, it's an obligation. I'm talking
They've
about.
always been obligated.
No, they haven't.
Yes, they have.
Yeah.
It's because black people's issues in America is not black people issues. Our issues were created by white folks for white folks. We're just dealing with it.
When you say our issues, what exactly are our issues?
Police brutality, income inequality.
Hold on, real quick. The first thing you said was police brutality.
Yes.
Is that an issue that you wake up and deal with every day? The average black person, if you go look at police brutality, if you walk down the street and you ask the average black person, have you dealt with police brutality today, what you think the results would be? We know it exists. I'm talking about on a daily basis to where it's something that we're concerned about. Or do you think it depends on what you're doing?
It depends on where you live, because
I
live in an all-white community, right? I get pulled over by the police all the fucking time.
Yeah, I mean, that's to be expected.
I have to deal with the repercussions of what I look like. That's not my fault. I did nothing as a human for police to stop me more times than the average other American who doesn't look like me.
Do you think you provoked that by living amongst all white people?
No.
You don't think they?
No. Why?
Hold on. I'm not saying the whys and stuff, but I'm just saying that since you are there, and they could have their preconceived notions.
Okay. So whose fault is that?
That what?
Their preconceived notion. Whose fault is that? Is that mine or is that theirs?
We not talking about fault. We talking about like what's actually going on. That's what I'm talking about. Because I'm saying like,
so
my thing was just asking this: if you didn't live around all these white people, would you be getting pulled over in white neighborhoods?
Probably not. No.
Okay.
But what difference does it make?
It make a difference. I mean, because the thing is, like we do too much to try to get their acceptance or to integrate with them when they shown us time and time again that they don't give a fuck about us.
Right.
So it's foolish to try to integrate with people or force yourself upon people who don't like you.
No. It's not about forced integration. It's about getting them to acknowledge what they've done.
What have they done?
Police brutality. Systemically,
like, you don't even want to call them motherfuckers for nothing. It's not like you gonna. I mean, what do we do when? What if, like, say, like, all right, somebody breaking my house? Well, do I go kill him, or do I go fight him, or do I do like, you know what I mean? So how do we deal with certain situations without?
We talk about anomalous situations like they occur every day. Some of these are anomalous situations. The majority of the issues we deal with are not police. The things that fucking up black people are not police. It's our inability to police ourselves. If we police ourselves and we have stronger communities and shit, the police would have a reason to be around us like that.
Here's what I'll say to that. White people have the ability to fuck up and get away with it. Written in the doctrine of this country is all men are created equal. So if you have the equal opportunity to fuck up and get away with it, why do I?
When was this written?
1776.
In 1776, were black people still slaves?
Yes, they were.
So you think they was considering black people when they was writing the Constitution? Hold on, now we're gonna be actual and factual. When they was signing this shit, when John Hancock was writing Beer to Everybody, when the quote unquote founding fathers was doing this, coming from the Revolutionary War, they come and fighting the Brits. The Brits had black people in their armies. Mm-hmm. But these motherfuckers come back celebrating, popping off fireworks with slaves in the fucking barn still. They wasn't giving shit about that. Constitution don't mean shit for us, so we need to quit going back to the rules and shit.
Unfortunately,
we not at home.
We live here, right? And that's the law of the land according to them. So what I'm talking about is holding them accountable to what they said, not what I feel.
They got no resources.
What I'm talking about is this is what you said.
We don't hold no resources.
So you have to own up to what you said. If you don't, then
he didn't say it about you.
Who can say
he didn't say it about you? When they wrote the Constitution, they wasn't writing it about you.
But my birth certificate gives me what? Covered through the Constitution.
It makes you property.
It makes you property. You hold me accountable to the laws of the land because I was born here, right? So if it applies to you, it applies to me. I agree with what you're saying as far as they did. Okay. So in theory, how can I, in good faith, live amongst you if one, your laws weren't written with me in mind, and two, I break them just because of what I look like? How am I supposed to survive in that type of environment? You talk about pulling resources, so I gotta have somebody on the inside while I'm watching the outside?
How do you think you're supposed to survive? Quote unquote survive. Cause I'm doing a fantastic job of surviving. And the best way I do
Some people don't want to survive. Some people want to live.
The best way I do that shit is to abstain from trying to be involved with the oppressor. It's like you get smacked and run to the same person who smacked you for, you know what I'm saying, a resolution. You know what I'm saying? It's like what we do, we always clamor and go to the same people who we deem racist, whether it be their cousin, a voting system, or whatever that's built to benefit them. This system was not built to benefit us. So now it's like what they do, they give things to appease us along the way to make us feel like they care about us, to make us feel like change is coming. They tell you Trump is the evil white man, Biden is the good white man, and they have us in this flux and stuff to where we don't look inside ourselves to fix the situation. When I say what ails black people, police brutality is not a logical ailment. Bad health, eating bad, high cholesterol, heart disease. I hate the term, but black on black crime. You know what I'm saying? More black people kill black people than the fucking police. If we police ourselves and hold if we hold ourselves, no disrespect, if we hold ourselves at the same standard that we hold white people, we'd be much fucking better off. We expect white people to treat us better than we treat ourselves. You know what I'm saying? When a black person kill another black person, it don't make no fucking noise. Black people killing black people every day and nobody giving a fuck. It's neighborhood shit. This is what goes on in the hood. But as soon as the white people do it because it's a marketable thing, because it creates tension, because it creates chaos, they push it on TV and shit like it's happening every fucking second. I hate the fucking police killing black people. I hate that shit. But I hate black people killing black people more because we are related.
Here's the difference. Your tax dollars don't go to niggas killing niggas.
And see, you always like related back to their system. I'm talking about fuck that system. Well, I don't give a shit. We live within our own neighborhood.
And people in the neighborhood are in a system that is created to make them show, right? Point blank period. You can call it what you want to call it. Like, you don't see a random black dude as your brother. Why? Because they created a system for you to see that person as the way they see that person, right? So there is no black unity. I love that black people love to say that there is, but there ain't.
So without black unity, how can you get white people to care about you?
You're not.
So right there. If you're not going to get them to care about them, so why ask them to?
You're asking, how do you solve the black community's problem existing within a white community's problem, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter which way you start. You still have to address both. So if you want to go all black first, knock yourself out, I don't have a problem with that. If you want to deal with the white situation first, I don't have a problem with that either. What I'm saying is what I'm trying to get to is awareness, right? Because this is America, you can do whatever the fuck you want to do, right? It's a free country in the sense of if you want it bad enough, you can go and get it, right? That's what they say. So what I'm saying is I'm not trying to change your mind on being a racist. I'm trying to get people to acknowledge that you are who you say you are. So now when we go in public spaces, it's recognized. There ain't no, I'm trying to shine the light on the darkness that is in the people's heart. I'm not trying to change your heart. I'm trying to let people know this is who you are. They tell you America's not a racist country. Well, why the fuck is this history so goddamn racist then? If it's not a racist country, why you got all these skeletons in your closet? Because it's a fucking racist country. Accept that and then you can move forward. Because if I know what's in your heart, at the end of the day, I have the choice to make whether I fuck with you or not.
The only people affected by racism is people who try to deal with white people.
You don't have a choice.
You have a
You do not have a choice.
You can be very self-contained. This isn't the same America that our parents grew up in. Shout out to my mama's birthday today. I was talking to her today. I told her that we have it way more easy than she does today because we don't have to deal with white people on an everyday basis like they did. This is a generation where you see young black people become millionaires every fucking day. Money is financial freedom. You do not have to deal with them if you don't have to depend on them financially. They need us to depend on them, so this is what they do. And you're not wrong for your opinion. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? It's cool.
No.
But this is what they do. It's what they call the Hegelian dialect. You know what I'm saying? You familiar with that? Where they create the problem, then they create the solution. The same people give you the solution, same motherfucker gave the problem. The whole hopes is to create a dependent people. They need us to be dependent on them. They need us sitting around here trying to fix our problem by voting in their systems and things like that.
Yeah, so you said it earlier. This ain't our country.
Yes.
So you trying to build something in their country? You think they just gonna let you do that?
I mean,
And then hold on, this is no, because you going right into where I was going with this. So you just a little bit ahead of me. They want us to be dependent on them because once we show independence, it scares them.
Absolutely,
They don't know what
they don't know anything about us.
This is the thing. This is why they want you in their neighborhoods feeling comfortable. Your neighbor might not want you to, or your neighbor might want you to, but it's a certain segment of people who control shit who want this discord between black people and white people. It's financial, it creates fear, and it keeps everything the same. But this is what I'm saying with this shit. And I hate to bring it up, but this is what black people always go to, and it's something that's very poignant. Black Wall Street. Financial freedom separated from them. You go in there with your fucking military and destroy this shit. We want you under our control. We want this money in our stores. We have to have you dependent on us. You need to depend on us for your groceries. You need Walmart, you need all this shit. They don't want you on some healthy shit, so they talk crazy about a Dr. Sebi. You see what I'm saying? They try to make these niggas like spooks or fucking witch doctors. Mm-hmm. They make us fear ourselves because they know if we depend on ourselves and shit that we won't depend on them. This is not our country. Any ethnic group in this country came here outside of us. We was the only one packed like sardines on boats for the most part. Some people did come later on. But that's the uniqueness of us.
Black people before white people got here.
I'm talking about who was running shit. Listen, that's romanticized. I'm talking about when finances start happening, when big time decisions go. It's cool, and that's a hell of a fucking meme. You know what I'm saying? We was indigenous, that's cool. But I'm talking about when people was calling shots. You see what I'm saying? I'm not talking about who was here first, I'm talking about who was running shit. And the people, I'm talking about, I don't know, do you identify as an indigenous person to America?
I'm just black, that's what I am.
So I don't identify like that. I identify as my ancestors who sit here. I mean, it's so fucking deep to why, like, if we talked about it, it's a particular reason why we're going through what we're going through. And it's divine. It's the Most High, He punished us because our ancestors broke His covenant. So me being in tune with that, I'm knowing that this is not our land. We're not meant to be on top here. He has shown some favor, which He has done over time and stuff where He's, like, we complaining about fucking not being able to fucking go into a white restaurant when our ancestors were fucking getting beat, fed to alligators, raped, hung in fucking private. I mean, at public lynching parties. Like the shit we
And you
cried
think
about.
that happened because we broke a covenant with
I
God?
definitely know. I know. It was. I know.
What kind of God is that?
A righteous one.
What's
you make
righteous about you suffering for something someone you never met did before you were ever even a blip in your great grandfather's eye? Like that makes no
Do you
fucking
think that
sense.
if the Most High is Almighty,
He's not. There's no
if
way.
He's Almighty, I'm saying, okay, let's just say if He's Almighty, He created everything. Do you think that a creative person, a creative player, can tell you exactly how to?
Let me
what's
ask
righteous?
you. Let me ask you this: if I have a relationship where I can do whatever I want to you, and all I got to do is tell you to love me, and I'll take care of you, what kind of relationship is that? What do I need you for? What do I benefit from you doing what I tell you to do because I told
What
you?
you have to do is understand what a covenant is.
Again.
A covenant was broken. That's an agreement on both sides of the covenant. It's
And
not,
what happens to him if he breaks his covenant? We don't fucking
He don't
know.
break his covenant. That's the thing.
According
Hold on.
to who?
Hold on. According to the covenant that's written. This is the thing. It's all conjecture you ain't because you're not familiar with the covenant or what happened during the institution of it at Mount Sinai. So if you just talk off straight emotion.
No, I'm asking a legitimate question.
It's not a legitimate
If
question.
I have
If you
all
don't-
the power in the relationship, because that's what humans have no power over God's choices,
Yes, you
His
do.
decisions.
Yes, you do.
No, you don't.
If you're obedient, you get.
Oh, so you have to do what I tell you to do before I do
the agreement.
anything else?
If you do, you got children.
No.
Okay, so it's tough for you to understand because you don't understand.
I'm asking you
the
what type
dispensation
of relationship
Okay, let me.
is that
Listen.
beneficial towards?
Even if you don't have children, you have parents. If you disobey your parents and shit, do they do good things for you? Do they reward you for disobedience?
No.
Okay. But when you are doing what you're supposed to do, they reward you. Reward.
Oh, so
Hold on.
So
that's
if-
they reward you then.
sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. It depends on if they can afford it or not. What I'm saying is if the relationship is based off just being obedient, that's a pet.
You can call it what you want to.
I'm calling it what it
I call it
is.
creation. But this
Okay,
is
so if
just
you
like
create,
this.
so
If
all
we-
I gotta do is do what you tell me to do the entire time. Then why?
Have you ever signed a contract?
Yes.
Have you ever went against the contract?
No, I have not.
Okay, well, have you ever known somebody who violated a contract?
No, not in person. I've heard of people violating contracts.
Hey, see, now you just be.
I'm just, you asked me and I'm giving you legitimate answer. I've never met anybody who's broken a contract.
Hey, man.
My
listen.
question is what's the point of the contract? If
That's why I say context. That's why it says context. Like you critiquing something that you don't understand the context of. So if you don't understand the context of what you're critiquing,
okay, but
it's just
who
gonna come off
told you
as
that? You got told that by someone who's fallible, right? So
fallible. Like what? Like who?
So
told
every
you?
human that's ever existed has lied.
I've never met one. I've heard about them, not in person.
You met me, and so there you go. I'll be the first.
Yeah.
I get the humor. No, I'm honestly asking if everybody you've ever talked to has told you a lie before.
If you operate through life with that logic, though, man, you won't believe a single thing on this earth. If your whole logic is everybody lies.
Do you believe there's a certain way that we are supposed to be living as people on this earth?
No, I don't believe there's a quote unquote right way to do things because right is decided by majority.
You have a moral compass. You have a fucking moral.
I have a moral.
You know, shit nobody out here put their fucking finger on little boy's ass.
I don't wish physical harm on
Hold
anyone.
on. So, do you have an anarchist mind state? Do what thou will. Is that what you subscribe to?
No.
Okay.
No.
So
I don't think just because you can, you should.
But what you just asked me,
Sound like
that's
that.
exactly what he just asked you.
Yeah.
No, I don't believe that. Just because you can do something, you should. No, I don't believe that. Not at all.
So there's a certain way.
I can kick a baby in the face, but why would I fucking
Baby
do
kicking
it?
ass nigga.
You know what I mean? Like,
living that way. It's
yeah,
kinda like,
why-
it's like
there has to be a purpose behind the action in order for us as people to justify why.
What is
we're
something
doing it.
but
So what I'm asking is, what is the justification of this quote unquote higher power? For what purpose does it serve you to be told that there's a being out there that has these rules for you in order to live the life that you want to live.
The rules are there to keep you in line. It's to protect
Okay,
you.
but you don't need divinity for that.
Well, what rules do you abide by? What do you adhere to?
It doesn't take a God to tell me I shouldn't kill my parents. It doesn't take a God to tell me I shouldn't kill my brother.
Okay, so even with that said though, so it doesn't take one to tell you that you shouldn't. It don't tell you that, like if it's not somebody there to tell you don't do it, you know what I'm saying? Like, what about somebody who say that I want to do it? I don't need a deity to tell me to do it. I feel like killing everybody in here. How can you critique it?
Okay, as someone who exists on the same plane as that person, as far as we're both being creatures of this quote unquote God, who am I to tell him? That's what not judging people is all about. I'm not supposed to judge that person on what they want to do.
Why aren't you supposed to judge them?
Because that's according to the rules of the Bible.
Again, that's why I say you never read the scriptures, because if you say that, that's not in the scriptures. It's a judge not unless you be judged. It's
Exactly.
hold on. But you got to understand context. That's why I tell people all the time, when you just hear a scripture or read one scripture, you don't have it in context. It's saying you judge by the same standards you're going to be judged. You can't just be out here being unrighteous with it. And in Israel in the system, it was a checks and balance system. They even had judges. It's a book called Judges. It was a judge. So why wouldn't you be able to judge? The whole thing is, if you can do stuff with, you can run with, do anything you want to. Ain't nobody gonna say
Again,
nothing to
because
you.
that's the freedom that each and every one of us is supposed to have, the
we have
ability to
freedom.
do whatever it is
And
that
when
we
you-
want
and
to
when
do.
you- and then-
And so, in context, what I'm trying to say is, societally, you're gonna have people who are altruistic. You're gonna have people who are just downright mean and evil for no fucking reason. And then you're gonna have everybody else in the middle. And the point of a group system is to make sure that people that are gonna be evil are kept in check for the betterment of everybody else, right?
Do you believe
Which is
in
a
higher
good
power?
reason why ColinKaepernick book is a bad idea.
Do you believe?
You just want to get rid of the fucking police.
do you believe in higher power? Okay, so if you don't believe in a higher power,
I don't believe.
hold on. Okay, go ahead.
Let me modify that. I believe that there was something that created everything.
So
But
it's
I don't think whatever it is genuinely cares, because it doesn't have to.
if you don't believe in the higher power and stuff, or is it like you believe in your rendition of it? Like if you can't create or make it fit in the box you want to fit, you like fuck it. If you can't agree with what I agree with, creator who created me, then fuck you.
It's not fuck you, no.
I mean, what is it?
It's just
If you say I ain't dealing with you, I ain't listening to you, I don't believe you, it's like fuck you.
I'll deal with the consequences.
I mean,
You'll deal with the consequences. You don't know until you did, and guess what? It's too late by then anyway. So, you can live with the fear of burning in hell forever if that's what you choose to believe. Or you can choose not to believe it. What you don't know is whether it's true or not until you get there. And guess what? It's too late by then anyway. So, live the life you want to live regardless. Because at the
that's
end...
that do with that will. That's why I asked you earlier, do you subscribe to the do with that will? Where love is the law, like you can just do what you want to and stuff as long as you feel good.
You can do, you literally can do whatever you want to do, but you still have to deal with the consequences. That's why I tell people all the time, there's no such thing as free will because you have to pay for everything. There's nothing that's free. Time is not free.
When you say pay for everything, like what do you mean?
Because for every action there's a reaction.
What's the consequence of somebody who raped a slave, made millions of dollars off sharecropping black people that they weren't paying? They lived a bountiful life here on earth, pass it down from generation to generation.
If you believe in a higher power,
but hold on, we're gonna take the higher power out of it because we can't just use it when we want to use it.
Then
we're gonna just say on a human level. So what do they? Like, what's their payment? You said that
their payment.
You said it's a consequence. So what's their consequence?
Their consequences. Eventually, their ancestors are gonna get their come up.
That's not on them.
Like I said. Okay, so.
What he is for the bitch raised, that ain't gonna affect me.
So what difference does it make?
No, hold on. I'm trying to. You did turn me into a oppressor, man. My head's spinning around a little bit. I'm trying to figure out what the fuck. I'm just asking, what's their consequence?
They're dead.
That ain't no consequence. We all gonna die.
So there might not be any consequences. So why do you believe in some and not others? But that doesn't make any sense.
No. Listen, you said that it's a consequence for doing
wrong.
No,
I said there's an action and a reaction to everything you do.
But it's no. I mean, that's saying.
Okay, so their consequence was they set up a system so they could do whatever the fuck they want to do, and they didn't have anybody to check them.
That's consequence. That's like a good time.
For them, yeah.
That's the reason why everybody yelling?
That's the quote.
Hey, I said we hollering at each other. That's what I said. We hollering.
I was just mean like that's why motherfuckers was protesting literally.
So,
like, nigga, y'all shit fucked up. We try to get y'all to see y'all shit fucked up. But within that system, you trying to hold them accountable.
But real quick, great dialogue. He said that the omnipresent threat of premature deaths at the hands, knees, chokeholds, tasers, and guns of law enforcement has only further ingrained this anti-black foundation into the institutions of policing. None of those things, I'm not scared of none of that shit. I'm more scared about if I don't go to the gym, if I don't watch my diet and shit, that I'm going to inherit the diabetes or the fucking high blood pressure in my family.
Okay, you don't have to
That's what
hear
I'm
it for it to be a problem.
It ain't nothing we can do about that police shit though.
And I'm like, you gonna get rid of the police and then you gonna have vigilantes.
You gotta be
like, I'm gonna take care of the problem.
Now, one, we don't even have a policing system within our community. So getting rid of them, man, that shit gonna make it 100 times worse. Like niggas gonna be killing niggas. I ain't even gonna think about
Do you
this
think the police should be defunded?
No.
Hell no.
Defunded? Yes. Abolished?
Fuck no.
When you say defund, like what exactly? Because a lot of people don't know what does that entail.
So the money that they get for the tanks and the tear gas and the military equipment, they don't need that shit.
So that's gonna be out here on some Barney 5 shit. One, and everybody getting rifles and shit.
The military needs to take.
Yeah.
And hold on.
They short on bullets.
Because when you have interactions with the police, okay, for the majority of these shootings, they're traffic violations, right? Most of them
maybe, but that's what they report. That's what they report.
Well, that's what you see on the videos. They're getting pulled over, and then it's a traffic violation, right? So you don't need a fucking tear gas launcher. You don't need a grenade launcher for a traffic.
What the fuck if these things right here? They ain't gonna start them at the traffic stop.
No, they just have this shit.
But I'm saying when it hasn't been used, that could be for that motherfucker down the street acting up. But just cause I got this motherfucker, hold on, cause like, if it's happened, I just haven't seen it. So have you ever seen like, oh, they're gonna let's call it?
No, what I've seen is because of the traffic situation, riot police have had military grade gear, and the reason why we're having these quote unquote riots is because the money that they spent on this fucking riot gear, they could be using to better train their police officers. So the allocation of resources is backwards.
So that's all.
So the show of force.
The shield could have been better.
The show of force is more important than the actual understanding of the community and policing of said community. Again, the problem isn't that police aren't trained properly. The problem is that they don't adhere to the training within a community that doesn't look like that.
That's what they want y'all to think. You gotta understand, these motherfucking police been getting these terrific stories for decades and shit about how they could punch a nigga in the stomach when nobody do nothing. Like I could be walking down the street and smacking your head, you gotta go to the side and just sheepishly walk away. This is what's ingrained with them. It's not just the police, it's a fucking societal thing. Police are just police. And at the same time, black people buy into the same thing, black police officers. So it's bigger than just that. So with that said, something that y'all mentioned the tanks, and this, we're gonna say fuck you, Colin, because you over here being disruptive. This was what people miss out on. If you defund or get rid of police or prisons, as he foolishly states, people don't understand what a military state is. There's always gonna be some kind of authoritative force in the country. They move away the local police. They take away local police who are familiar with the community in some instance. First off, every policeman not bad. I got the same, even though this is not a consistent fear or a logical fear, I'm still in America to where they pounded in my head since I was little. I still get the fucking heebie-jeebies when the police pull behind me. I get nervous in the motherfucker. I say, God damn, I wonder if this is how it's gonna go down. You know what I'm saying? Is this it? But it's never went down. But I've seen. Is that a
logical fear?
You know what? That's a tough question. Because logic is like if I've been pulled over and shot by the police, then shit is logical. But if I've never been pulled over and beat up and shit, then it's illogical. No, because you've heard of it. Because you've seen it. I've heard about motherfuckers seeing Bigfoot, but it ain't logical for me to go outside and expect.
You've never seen anybody who's seen Bigfoot. They can tell you there's a difference between conjecture and actuality. Bigfoot is conjecture. No one's fucking seen Big.
How you gonna sit here and say we haven't seen Steady? That's some bullshit. That's conjecture.
No evidence of Bigfoot.
We've seen many pictures with him looking over his
You've
shoulder.
seen and none of them have been verified by any reputable source. That we
What's
all
reputable?
that
What's reputable?
that the majority of people say this is credible.
I mean, what's credible is
Okay, so you gotta break it down.
I'm being
Break down
superficial,
every
but
brick you want to
a
break
lot of
down.
shit that we thought was credible and shit is not credible today.
Okay. Still, pick one that you like, and they haven't said that this motherfucker's credible. Whichever one you think is the best.
The National Enquirer. if it helped Agent K, it can help me. But I get what you're saying.
So I'm saying it's not illogical for you to have that fear in the back of your
mind. The fear
mind.
is not logical, illogical. It's a logical fear. I mean, we've heard about fucking the boogeyman since we were little. Of course he's gonna come from under the bed, get me one day when I'm going to the restroom.
It's fear
in
is
the middle of the
power.
night. So I'm just gonna piss in the bed.
Fear is power. It's a controlling mechanism. I need you to do
I'm glad you said that. So what you do, you pump it up on the media and you push it like it's happening at every fucking turn. Fear is powerful. I need your fear to lead you to depend on me.
That's what God does.
No, he don't.
I'm gonna burn you in hell if you don't do what I tell you to do. That is
He don't say
fear.
that. He don't say that.
That is fear.
He said if you violate this covenant, then
If you don't do what I tell you to do, you're going to burn forever. Call it what you want to call it.
Show me that. This is how the Most High operate. If you don't do what I want to, I'm gonna punish you, but I'm gonna give you a chance to repent to avoid the lake fire. It's always a chance to come back. Y'all can't just make him definitive Brocky Hood. Y'all can't just make him just this cold-hearted and personal deity. But when you don't read the scriptures, and I'm not being funny or anything, but when you don't read the scriptures, it won't register. If you just go by your preconceived notions, if you don't understand ancient Israelite culture or what was going on in the scriptures, why it was written, why the agreement was taken, or why he even made a covenant with one particular nation, and what was the consequence if this nation disobeyed him when he said, I'm not making this covenant just with y'all here, but this goes to your children too. Mm-hmm. If you don't understand all this, it won't make sense. It's easy to critique him, you know what I'm saying? And it's amazing to me, but I understand that how we in this place where we can just heartily just tell him, you fucked up. You made some bad choices in your way in creating us. But I get it.
So you don't think he made any mistakes?
Not a single one. Not a single one.
And that just proves my point.
Not a single one point.
But also, how do you debate this if everybody's not knowledgeable on this? I mean,
because the human physically, there are imperfections in humans.
Like what?
The fact that
what physical imperfection?
That we breathe and swallow with the same air hole. That makes zero sense physiologically.
Do you breathe right? Can you breathe?
You can.
Why the fuck is that fucked up to you?
Because you can also die that way.
How have you ever died from breathing?
Because if you choke on food, you will fucking die.
Shoot slow. That's your fucking fault. You man ain't laughing and eating.
You can make all the excuses.
Hey
that
man,
you
listen,
want.
that's fucked up that you gotta go to something like that shit to disrespect the Most High.
I'm not disrespecting the
Nigga,
Most
you ain't
High.
make us right,
What
man.
I'm saying, there are other creatures that have more efficient ways to do the exact same thing we do. Fish, for example, they breathe through gills.
Fish don't eat fucking food. So how
Yes,
what
they
they
do.
gonna choke on?
Sharks don't eat food.
They got them sharp ass teeth. What is a fucking what is a fucking bluegill gonna choke on? What the fuck is a catfish gonna choke on?
a fishing hook, nigga.
But my thing is real quick, bro. If they take away the police, they're gonna bring in the military. It's gonna be military state, and motherfuckers gonna be like, "What the fuck?" Because then it's fucking.
It can always get worse. I agree. Sure.
And I don't know. I just think that ColinKaepernick, he in that bag. Shout out to you, Colin. You making way more money than you would have made on football. You was a motherfucking hustler, boy, oh boy. You wouldn't feel nice, y'all did it, goddamn it. Y'all got us in here and shit. You got this motherfucking funny ass comedian in here disrespecting your whore for you, motherfucker. You did it, Colin. Hey, that's what Marxism is, though. They push for this Marxism, this self-dependency and shit, and it's working.
You still got to do the work, regardless of whether you believe it or not.
What work?
The faith without works is dead, right?
Definitely.
Okay, so you got to do the work regardless.
Yeah, definitely.
So it don't matter if you got faith.
I don't even know what point you was making, but definitely.
What I'm saying is the faith part don't matter. You still got to do the work.
Yeah, I mean, that's
So
no
do
ability
the work.
works.
Do the work regardless. Is what I'm
I
saying.
agree.
The whole religious aspect of it.
For one, I don't identify it religiously. I don't identify it's a culture, but it's a little bit deeper than just on the surface and shit. We got some hell of a dialogue and shit. First off, Pop Smoke got shot by a 15-year-old. That's some sad shit. We here with Deon Curry, again, Indianapolis-based comedian. Are you from here?
Yes, born and raised.
Born and raised in
Hospital.
Methodist. Shout out to Methodist. I'm from Anderson. That's a fucking hospital I used to always hear about on the news.
Yeah.
I don't know why that shit used to stand out there. Methodist and Wisher.
You don't want to be. You don't want to wish. Yeah, Wisher was.
It was what?
That's probably
Shout out to my beautiful daughter born in Wisher 10 years ago. Fantastic child.
What should I know?
Debunking all the rumors.
Strong structured settlement on your way.
That's what everybody say. I'm going community, shout out community. But no, we're here with Deon, a very, very funny comedian.
According to some.
People who count. everybody say otherwise. They don't know
for
shit.
everybody, and that's fine.
I mean, shit, that's what a lot of things go, you know? Shit's like,
I'm comfortable in my own skin.
I think the best comedians are not for everybody, though. You know what I'm saying?
It's impossible to be for it. God can't be for everybody. Whether
we're preaching.
I'm just saying.
We're preaching.
If God can't
Talk
be
your
for
shit,
everybody,
nigga.
I think God can be for everybody. You know, that's a dream nobody
The
can.
Most High not for everybody, though. He's only the Elohim of Israel. The other nations are like spit.
There you go.
This is him.
So you can't be mad at him for doing what they, what he knew they was gonna do in the first place.
Especially when we was one who got out of order and we were supposed to be the light to the Gentiles and they didn't follow us because we followed them. We were supposed to set the tone. We fucked up. That's why we fucked up.
Hey.
Hey. That nigga spit! I gotta rewind that shit.
Man, that crazy that I came up with that on my own one day. I was like, we supposed to teach them white people the better way. They don't understand it. That's what I
They on
job.
TikTok with fat ass. The white girl on TikTok with fat ass because they see the black girl with a fat ass. We amazing motherfuckers.
You notice that almost every culture mimics what we do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You don't think that's
Shit,
you don't think that's extraordinary though? You don't think it's something to that?
No,
Like,
I definitely think there's something to that.
we are,
I mean, genetically, we are
We
the
are.
gods of the earth.
we are
When it comes to,
Absolutely right.
we are the first people here.
Right.
So.
but it's not all black people. It's not niggas
it's
African
not.
can't dance at all.
I'm not as well versed in those scriptures that you speak of, but I am aware of them, and I have heard people talk on them. And it's not my cup of tea because it's just not my cup of tea. You call it whatever you want to call it. I'll own it. I'll be that. That's fine with me. I don't have.
I ain't got nothing to call it.
What I'm just saying is regardless of all that, you still got, like I said earlier, you still got to do the work. So
That's agreed.
let's just do the work. I don't care about the stuff that don't matter. What I care about is stuff that actually matters. Are you treating people good? Are you working on making yourself better?
Let's talk about the work. How long you been putting in work?
15 years.
15 years. What made you 15 years ago? 15 years ago, who was the
I was
spark?
21.
Who was the spark? It was like, did you always want to do it, or you just?
I have been wanting to be a performer since I was 4 years old. This is a true story now. This is in my bio. When I was 4 years old, I told my dad I wanted to be a brain surgeon. Right? And a couple hours later, I cut my finger open, passed out from the sight of my own blood. When I woke up, my dad was laughing just like y'all were, except he was laughing a lot harder.
Yeah.
And it was from that moment on that I knew I wanted to do that. Because I had never seen my dad laugh like that before. Because I had literally just got done telling him I wanted to operate on people's brains like a 4-year-old who knew what the fuck he was talking about. I don't even have
What
steady
would you
hands.
watch?
It's just the thing that I wanted to do.
You said you was 4 years old. How old are you now?
36.
36. What's 36 years ago? You born 86?
84.
84 years watching Trapper John. Let's go.
Who?
Trapper John, let's go. Trapper John, Google it. It's around that time. Don't be a fun.
So I seeing him laugh like that has been imprinted on me since, that time. And I've always tried to make people laugh. My older brothers were really funny. They never got into it. And I remember back in the early 90s watching fucking Comic View and seeing stand-up comedy and listening to Eddie Murphy and Richard Pryor. that to me was the penultimate. That was, it don't get no better. You mean you can tell me you can make money by just being silly and funny and making people laugh? That's the thing you can do?
One nigga on the stage.
He said Richard Pryor said, I go back tell my daddy how much I'm making. He said, man, you said, goddamn lie. He said,
So it's safe to say that, because that's like real ironic in the context of like inspiration. It's almost like you were self-inspired. Initially, when you just made your father laugh in that reaction, or even him give you that inspiration, that's when you need shit. Because, you know, usually when we talk to people, it's always another comic or something like that inspired them. Because I'm sure at 4 years old, you wasn't watching stand-up comedy.
No, I wasn't.
Yeah. So when you said performing, was it just like trying to make people laugh, or did you dance, sing, or anything else?
I acted in plays as a little kid, so I wanted it to be a performance. I always dreamed of winning the Oscar until I got one. This is all some dumb bullshit. When I learned what the business side of it, like I don't want no part of that. I'm cool. That's y'all can keep that. But the art of having my voice go out to people and changing their days from bad to good was the motivating factor for me. That's what drives me as a person. I like putting people in a better situation than they were before they met me.
what was that first gig like? Is that 21? Was that your first gig?
Yeah, my first show was at Crackers Open Mic.
It was self-explanatory.
You had to bring people, so I had 32 people in the crowd.
Dang. That's a hell of that. I ain't never brought that many motherfuckers.
I had a 3-piece suit on,
Nobody shoot people.
and I knew, I was like, if I'm not funny, at least I'm gonna look good, right?
Yeah.
Because I had no idea what stand-up comedy was, so like, I'm gonna go all out because this is what I really want to do. I go, I have a great set.
We got 32 niggas in my family.
Second time I bring less people, but it still went well, and it wasn't until the third time where I didn't bring anybody and I realized, oh, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, right?
Oh, these love.
Like, you know, it was just all up for my people, and you know, because my people were having a good time, other people were having a good time. But it wasn't until I got by myself and realized that this is an actual business in the industry and artwork and actual work, and you can't just get up there and say bullshit and think people are gonna find that funny. Like, that was my wake-up call. It's like, oh, I was motivated.
Do you have any like film from your very first song?
Oh yeah, I've got several DVDs of my first year that I watch whenever I think I'm the shit. Yeah, I have a set that I recorded in Cleveland where I got booed off the stage, and I keep it on me at all times.
This is in the first year?
No, this was years later.
Oh, okay.
After I thought I was
When
the
you
shit.
think when you
Like,
already
you gotta
know.
remember.
Who the fuck are y'all boom with?
Yeah, like,
Even when you the shit, you ain't shit. That's what
you're not always gonna be for everybody.
Yeah.
So it's a learning process, and it's what motivates me to keep growing and going further in my career, because I don't do it for the money. It pays a decent living, but Jason, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
First, how long you 16? For the first 14.
It's really, really difficult. It takes a long time,
Yeah.
but it's worth all the bad shows that I've ever done in my entire life. The good shows have more than made up for it. You know, and I'm gonna continue to probably have bad shows. I hope not. I'm not looking forward to it, but like I said, you're not always gonna be for everybody, and it's just one of those things.
With that said, when, like once you got rid of the home court advantage and you out there by yourself and you just gotta make people laugh who never seen you a day in their life, when the first time it didn't go over, like did you on stage, how was you feeling? Like what was going on?
I thought it was funny as fuck.
Oh yeah.
That nobody thought I was as funny as I thought.
Oh yeah.
At that moment you felt like that?
Yeah, because I was too immature to know better. You know, that was the benefit to start when I was 21 as opposed to 30. When if I started when I was 30, I'd probably kill myself. You know what I mean? Like, because it is a terrible, terrible feeling to get up there and for 5 minutes have people hate your guts because you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing.
You stayed there for 5 minutes?
Oh yeah, you can do all your time.
That's a long 5 minutes.
That's like taking over sandpaper.
I always compare that shit. I always say you gotta be the type of nigga that used to try to holler at a lot of bitches and get turned down. And
No.
you be perfect with it.
Honestly, that's what it feels like when you're up there, because they see that you're trying, and it depending on what color the crowd is the benefit of the doubt that you
And your
get.
likability.
Yeah. Because you can lose a black crowd just by what you look like. It don't matter how fucking funny you are. If you go up there and you look goofy.
That's why you gotta come out there dancing and shit.
Yeah. It's a defense mechanism.
Yeah.
Now I'm trying to find the door to get you to listen to what I'm trying to say. White audiences, they show up, they quiet. Aww. Black folks, nigga, kill yourself. Right? Both of those are useful.
Yeah.
The silence is useful for you to realize that, you know what, this ain't it.
That's
And to kill yourself is useful.
Stove on.
Yeah.
On your inner thoughts and shit. Yeah, I'm your stove on.
Definitely a monologue in your head. Like, fuck, I ain't looking, I ain't laughing. Huh?
Did you have you ever tried to model yourself after anybody?
My team, the people that I draw the most inspiration from are Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle.
Okay.
I love Chris Rock's ability to take something that's happened and bring the truth out of it in a way that no one has thought about or said.
Just to dial back just a bit, we experienced or talked about the what you felt and your ability to deflect when you felt like the crowd ain't fuck with you. You was able to laugh at yourself. The first time you was with a new crowd and they just went crazy. How'd that feel? Did it feel Chappelle like?
Man, it's no better. I've never experienced anything better than having the set that I wanted to have and getting the reaction that I wanted to get. There's no better feeling. I mean, it's just like in anybody else's career field, where you have just the most amazing day, where everything goes right.
This. You just hit 6 3-pointers and
shit. You hit the walk off. You know what I mean? It's like there's nothing like that. And the fact that as a stand-up comic, you can get that opportunity 4 days a week and get paid for it. Like it's hard work, but it's not hard work. When it's going right, you just having a good time. It's literally like sitting here with you, you guys.
When you say hard work, and what exactly is the most hard part about being a stand-up comic?
Finding your voice, knowing what you want to say, knowing how you want to say it, delivering it in the way that reaches the most amount of people. Because again, you can have a voice, but it only reach a segment of people that think like you do. And the goal is to get as many people hearing what you have to say, regardless of whether they think like you or not.
That just made me think of somebody repeating somebody like a comment, like that Richard Pryor shit I just said. Like if you say that shit,
yeah, you can't do that. I didn't see when I first started. I didn't know that. So my closing joke was a joke I had heard off Comic View 10 years ago. And it wasn't until I met some real professionals like, yo, the fuck are you doing? I'm like, oh, I can't do that? Yeah, comedians don't get cover bands. You can't be out here singing somebody else's songs.
And what did you think when you heard that shit?
I was like, oh, I didn't know. It makes sense, because I don't want anybody saying my shitty little jokes that I had at the time.
That nigga share my meme.
So,
I made that up. That's my meme.
If anything, it's like you got to give credit where credit's due. So if you are going to do that, you got to cite your sources,
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you this real quick.
I wasn't going to say it.
I'm going to ask a question and I'm going to dial back to that one. And no, I'm not, because I forgot what question I was going to ask. With you learning that, yeah, I do. My mind is fucked up, that person we gave me earlier. Just piggybacking off that real quick. Once you knew that you shouldn't steal jokes, how do you view comics now that steal jokes? Especially not people who getting started, but people who
know better?
Yeah, and who are hailed as great comics.
The worst of the worst, the lowest of the low.
Scumbag.
Yeah, you don't do that. One, especially if you're at a level where you don't need to do it.
Yeah.
Like, why are you taking somebody else? Because we're all supposed to be looking out for each other, right? There's plenty of stages for everybody. You can't be in every spot every week. So you should be trying to help people get better, because if they're funnier people coming up, they're going to push me to be better, right? It's not a competition as to I got to be funnier than Jason. It's like, no, we need to be funny enough that the club stays open.
Yeah.
Because I'm not competing against Jason. I'm competing against movies and sports entertainment, that type of thing, right? People can spend their hard-earned money whatever the fuck they want to spend it on. I have to be good enough to get that dollar. So I'm not mad at Jason if he's killing it. That's just keeping another door open for me.
Have you ever had, and just be honest, have you ever like, damn, this motherfucker better than me? Like, had any kind
Absolutely.
I'm talking about, was it like, I don't like this motherfucker?
No.
I don't like that shit.
No, I'm not, because I'm not a jealous person by nature.
Yeah.
I don't get jealous. I get
Are
proud.
you a competitor?
Not in the sense that most people think of competitors.
Yeah.
Like, I want to compete against myself. I don't want to.
That's
I don't
the
want
best
to.
competition.
Yeah, I don't want to take no food out of anybody's mouth. But at the same time, if you
Yeah.
challenge me,
Yeah.
you gonna fucking lose. Like,
Look at, I like that song. That was some songs right there, man. I got what partners
Well,
in this
I'll be damned if I ain't sat up in a comedy club and was like, nigga, I can do better than that. I ain't gonna say that.
I absolutely.
That's motivation for
I
myself.
absolutely felt that way as well.
Y'all made that shit for.
Okay,
Y'all think that
what are they gonna hold them?
Yeah.
I was waiting for this.
See, it's not hate that. I'm not mad that that person's up there doing it.
And people think that all comedians is just the same. No, it's like, no, nigga, that nigga do that. That nigga do that.
Yeah.
That nigga do that.
And
I do everything better.
Like, no,
My thing
everybody do
is
shit
like,
different.
yo, if you love that shit, give me the opportunity
Right.
so you can really love that shit. That's how I look at it.
You gave him some pussy.
If you like that shit, wait till you see my shit. That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
I'm not, again, like I said, I don't go out of my way. I'm not the type of person to be like, man, I'm on this. Like, no.
Yeah.
But if you ask me, I'm gonna tell you.
I can dig that.
Or you can come to the Wednesday
Let me
open mic
come to
and
the
you
mic.
can hear me say it to the motherfuckers who need to hear it.
You talked about learning about not stealing material or recycling. What's some other lessons that you learned early in your career?
Get paid first.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get paid first.
Yeah.
Don't go anywhere by yourself. Don't. This is what happens to a lot of young comics. Is afterward you have a good show and people want to hang out with you, and you think, oh, this is gonna be great. I'm hanging out with people. These are strangers.
Mm-hmm.
Stranger danger, fam. You're drinking. You're getting high. Not everybody is really smiling in your face to be smiling in your face, right?
Right.
I know some people who have been robbed. I know some people who have been hurt by it. I found myself in a situation where I was about to be caught up in some mess. I ain't had nothing to do. I was just hanging out with these niggas after the show. And it's like, I don't know these motherfuckers from Adam. And whatever beef you got with them ain't got shit to do with me. I'm not co-signing their shit. Because I just met these motherfuckers. But I'm here. They don't know that. So it was one of those learning processes where you got to speak to the people. Always try to find a mentor. I tell that to everybody. Find somebody who does what you do better than you and learn from them. You don't have to have a competition with somebody who's doing what you do. I think that's our biggest problem is we don't collab enough. Like, just seeing you make moves, I can learn from it. But if I have a lens of jealousy over it, I'm blocking all these things that I could be learning because I'm more concerned about, well, how come I don't got that? Well, how come this ain't, instead of being like, yo, that's how you got that? So you put this together and you made this move.
Information.
You know what I mean? So
scared to give.
it's like, yo, you should be out here trying to learn whatever you can. And that's what I had to learn very early on. The first professional comedian who ever told me I could start doing stand-up, he and I we might as well be blood brothers. Mm-hmm. That's how close we are. I encourage everybody, no matter what your field is, find that person that does what you do and better than you and that you can learn from, that you can pick their brain. And I ain't saying to annoy them people, but you know what I mean? If you can make a connection and humble yourself enough to know that, oh, I still got shit to learn. Because I'm not going to lie, when I first started, I thought I was the shit. I literally thought I was the shit. I remember going into Crackers before I ever performed, sitting in the audience, listening to these motherfuckers go, man, I'm better than that nigga. This nigga ain't funny. I remember telling a comic, you should never get up there again. And I had never even done it before. And that was the type of disrespect that I came into the game with. Thank God I got humbled and learned that, yo, regardless of regardless of where you are, you still gotta respect the people that are, there's a certain level of respect that you have to have regardless, right? Just off rip, man to man, human to human. You can't come in to any new venture disrespectful and expect to get somewhere. Now maybe you can. Maybe you might be that one out of however many that have ever done it.
Right.
But the chances of that, I would bet against.
Shout out to Preachers on you. And I'm talking about early lessons, and just to show that it's a game that you always learn. What's one of the latest lessons you learned?
You can't always count on people. You can't always count on other people to do what they said they're gonna do. So you gotta be prepared for the fallout of that. You know, that's hard.
So putting your stock in people, yes, definitely hard. That's a risk.
Blocks and shit, like with this, like I have control over nothing but my training. You know what I mean? So I'm training up until the last week, nigga. I done sold all these six and they cancel that shit. I gotta eat that shit. You feel me? Or somebody coach can't make it, or training partners ain't been in the gym. You know, you just gotta keep. You can't count on nobody.
Right.
Like you gotta do that shit yourself. You gotta put that work in and just, you know, shit.
You definitely gotta be prepared for the fallout of something falling out. Like that's what it's taken me a long time to realize. It's like what I was talking about earlier, everything having consequences. Like you don't have to always like it, but that don't mean it's not for you.
Like you can't let that shit bother you.
Right. You know what I mean? Like
shit fuck your emotion up.
exactly. You gotta keep pushing forward
Yeah.
regardless.
You know,
Sometimes you need to hear the things that you don't want to hear in order to realize, oh, I'm not where I think I am.
You mentioned that you had 3 podcasts. Can you tell us a little bit about
Yeah,
it?
what's going on?
Okay, so the very first podcast that I started on was the Pat Down with Miss Pat. That podcast is 2 years old. We literally just had our 2-year anniversary at the beginning of April. So that's over 100 and something episodes. 9, something like that. So, you know, she's a comedian out of Atlanta. She moved to Indianapolis 15 years ago, right? So she was one of the first comics that I met. We've been doing that. I do Sorry We're Canceled with BT, who's a local comedian. He's originally from Oklahoma. That's just the absolute silly podcast where we're just silly. You know, it's nothing serious. It's just being ridiculous.
Kids, BT.
Yeah. He's a giant kid, and I'm dragging the fuck along. So yeah. And then I do Now That's Debatable, which is a Facebook Live podcast that we do every Monday nights at 9 p.m. And that is a debate show I do with 2 of my brothers, Sidney Smith and Warren B. Hall. Where we talk about pretty much everything, whether it's top 5s or what's going on in police brutality, all the type of shit that we talked about earlier. We talk about it all. We have a live community where you can comment and be a part of the show. You can come on and stay
I like that. That's me too.
Thank you. You know, we got a few merch. Check out CitySmithCreative.com. Creative, C-R-E-T. It's got a number 8 in there somewhere. Google it, you'll find it. You'll find it.
You know where the A go, nigga.
You know where the A goes.
I ain't trying to make niggas look dumb. I ain't trying to say,
C-R-E.
Which podcast are you? I don't want to say. Which one of the podcasts you like the best?
They're all different.
Yeah. Which one you like the best?
Which one you look forward to being on?
I would probably say Now That's Debatable is my favorite because I know going into that podcast, regardless of what we're talking about, we're going to have a good time. And it's not to say that I don't have a good time like the other 2 podcasts, but Sidney Smith and Warren B. Hall are literally like my brothers. I'm really close to them, so I know going in, we're about to have a good time. Even if we're arguing, it's going to be a good time. I don't have to worry about content for this because, you know, it's just like, it's hanging out with your family. You know what I mean? So, I think that one's the one I'm most proud of.
And that's the one that's on Facebook Live?
Facebook Live. It's also on all podcast outlets. Now That's Debatable if you want to check that out.
So between the podcast, how did you get into it?
Podcasting? So Miss Pat started her own podcast and she did like 2 episodes and then she was like, hey, I want you to come do this podcast. She and I actually have recorded some episodes before the podcast is now. But her manager at the time told her that it wasn't no good, so she never released it. But I've always wanted to do something with radio. I love talking in the microphones. I don't care if it's on stage or in the studio or in an apartment, wherever. To me, this is my favorite medium to get my voice out.
Podcasting?
Just radio and just broadcasting in general. Yeah.
Do you feel like it'll give you more freedom?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, I don't know what it is about a microphone, man. It just turns me into a different person. You know what I mean? I come out of my shell Because I'm a quiet person off stage. Like you're not gonna catch me talking at the airport. I hate talking on the phone.
Yeah.
If I'm in a group, I'm not finna be the one that I'm the type of dude scoping out. But once I get this microphone in my hand, I have that freedom.
I can identify with that. What and what made me ask about the freedom, because you mentioned like you have that audition. You go up to is it Canada? Oh no, it's in New York this year.
Chicago.
Oh,
The audition's in Chicago, but the festival will be in
and you said that you basically got like wash yourself. You know what I'm saying? Just to cater to their expectations or their sensitivities. What type of level do you have to get on a stand-up comedy where you can just get up there and just say anything fuck you want to? Do you think, or
You can do-
a double question? Do you think that era is coming to a close because of the cancel culture, or do you think the stand-up comedy is still a safe haven for that?
You can say whatever you want.
That is funny.
You can say whatever you want,
Depending on
but
people receive.
you have to deal with. That's
You gotta
whether
stand on that
it's
shit.
free speech or not. You know what I mean? The government can mandate it, but if a motherfucker want to punch you in the face after you done said some shit to him, you got to deal with that. So my thing is always be, if you gon' say some shit that's gonna get you in trouble, be ready for the trouble. Otherwise, keep your motherfucking mouth shut. You don't pick fights that you know you can't win. So you gonna pick on somebody and you know they can beat you up?
And when I'm saying, when I'm asking that question, I'm not even asking on a personal level. Like, when I'm talking about as far as like deals, you know what I'm saying? Like somebody inviting you back, things of that nature. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta remember that. As much as an entertainment as this is, it's entertainment what? Business. So you gotta understand the business sense of your words carry weight in the business market. So if I say a bunch of bullshit, are my business partners gonna be able to weather that storm? You can't put your business partners in a situation that they can't get out of.
And so if you put them in a position that they can't get out of, you think that they have a right to sever ties with you?
Absolutely.
So like Colin Kaepernick, they have a right to sever ties with him?
Yeah, they had every right to be mad.
And sever ties?
Yeah, they had
Fuck it up money.
they had every right to do that. What they didn't have the right to do was lie about
You ever read the law?
it. No, you don't.
You ain't never feel like you had a right to lie?
You don't-
Hold on. You don't ever think you ever had a right to lie?
No, you don't have.
You don't never think you had a right to lie.
You
Do you?
You always do. You just
Have you ever had a
don't
right to lie?
exercise, just like punching a nigga in the face.
just because you can don't mean you should.
I agree with that.
So
I ain't want to go back there. I this box just seen that wide open shot. I ain't take my punch. Goddamn it. But those other shit.
you let me talk for 30 minutes just so he can punch me in the back of the head.
A win's a
Can't see
win.
that coming, nigga.
A win's
Look
a
over
win.
there. Bop!
Protect yourself at all times. Juvie gonna test. But do you think that because the standard that I'm thinking I'm getting to is the Dave Chappelle? Like when you get to that level, you can say damn near anything. Would you agree? As long as you say it in a slick ass way. Because when he did the joke about the LGBT people in the car, he did that in the middle of cancel culture, the middle of the heightened sensitivity and shit, and everybody.
You know why it
fucking
works?
loved it. This had no malice to it.
Because it was true.
Yeah.
You can feel however you want to feel.
Yeah, make a
But guess what? The truth don't change. The truth don't change. So you can be as pissy as you want to be about the truth. But you don't got no argument. Because you know at the end of the day it's fucking true.
especially when you make a compelling argument and it's funny. Niggas like, oh, okay, fuck.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't want to laugh at that, but goddamn it, he's telling the truth.
Yeah.
That, in and of that undeniability is what you're looking for.
Now, if you ain't making your
deny
point,
it.
yeah, you can't make
You don't
it.
have to like it, but guess what? You can't deny it.
So, this goes up with the podcast. When exactly days do they air? Each of them.
Okay, so now that's available. It's live Monday nights, every Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern. That drops on the podcast every Wednesday morning. Sorry We're Canceled and the Pat Down with Miss Pat comes out every Tuesday. Sorry We're Canceled has its own YouTube channel and Instagram at Sorry We're Canceled. The Pat Down Podcast has its own Instagram at Pat Down Podcast. Now that's debatable. Does not have an Instagram. I think we do.
Sure, I think you do.
It might be NTV.
You know how fucking important you gotta be to forget if you got a fucking Instagram?
Nigga
I gotta get on this nigga level.
I don't run the Instagrams of any of the podcasts that I do. So, and I suck at Instagram. Like I could be a lot more famous if I took the time to get off in this social media, but I'm not. Like people like, you gotta get TikTok, and I'm like, nigga, that's just buying for kids.
Right, I said.
Right?
Hold on, man. Fuck that. Cause it took me goddamn to this moment to realize that shit. It's just I ain't fucking noticed that shit.
That's all it is.
Damn, it is. Damn.
I ain't never fuck with Vine though. And
I didn't either.
I just now started looking at TikTok.
Yeah,
I just now started looking at TikTok. Everybody funny, but they all funny the same. Like everybody doing the same exact shit.
That's the main reason why I don't have it. It's because it's like, well, I'm not gonna add nothing new. Like a lot of them, I'm gonna give them credit. You doing? I have the idea, but you are making the project way better than what my idea is. You know what I mean? So why would I get in the way of that?
That's not my medium. But I'm gonna post some shit on there just so you can go to my real medium.
You can, but I mean, if you got content, you can use it. If you got content like Jason with the shit he got, he can use it. I can't figure out.
Some workouts and shit, like small.
You should. There's a lane.
You definitely should.
There's a
You definitely
lane.
should. You definitely should.
Yeah.
I can't figure one out for this shit.
Yeah.
I can't figure one out. It's like I can find some funny shit. Hope I can somebody do a voiceover and shit 200 times and shit. You know what I'm saying? But how did COVID affect your stand up?
Oh, it took.
Of course, you said that you had
It
got
took
that shit
thousands of
canceled.
dollars out of my pocket. Thousands of dollars.
With the world quote unquote opening back up, is the forecast getting better? Like, do you have any shows and things lined up?
I do. I'm hosting at Helium this weekend. Helium downtown Indianapolis.
What's that?
Dance Soda. The 13th through the 15th. I'm hosting. And then I got a show next week at the White Rabbit.
Nice.
Downtown. That's a Friday. So yeah, man. Shows. I got to work on a TV show earlier this year, which was really, really fun.
What TV show was this?
The Miss Pat show.
What's your character? It's like with characters.
I was a writer.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
I
Cool.
was, you're not gonna see my face on there.
You ain't fucking with no TV shit.
But I don't want to be famous like that.
I feel you.
You
I
know what I mean?
That's,
Like,
that's why I want to ask you, like, if you had any like big aspirations in that.
I want to make enough money to do what I want to do, and that's it. I'm not one of those people that gotta have every single dollar ever. I don't want the Kevin Hart.
Yeah, I just want to wake up and do the fuck I want to do. I'm make some coffee. Like, if I make some money.
But if I can make some money out my
Man,
face,
listen. Hey, I'm telling you, it's a couple things you said, but shit that remind me of myself. Namely, I already know you introverted. Like,
Absolutely.
So I can identify with a lot of shit you
So you
say.
should see me at the airport.
I don't want to see your dear. It's gonna make me feel. Damn, I'll be looking at that fucking ceiling. You know what I'm saying? I'll be standing like that, nigga. But where can people find you at your lousy Instagram abilities or anywhere on social media?
At Bright Fame 4 is all my media handles. So Twitter.
Bright Fame 4.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I didn't
Number
pick
4
the name.
letter.
The number 4.
You are very autonomous.
Yeah.
Who picked that?
People are gonna learn about me. I'm a very go with the flow, unless I have to, absolutely have to, back against the wall type person.
Girls be having them all kinds of positions. Stand on your head.
I don't got the knees or the hips for that.
Knees and knees. Goddamn.
I'm 36 going on 800. It's bad over here, but yeah, Bright Fame 4.
Can you spell that for people?
BRIGHTFAME, the number 4.
Do you have any social medias that you cater to or that you do mess with?
I love Twitter.
Is that your Twitter handle too?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't tweet much, but I just like
People watch.
Yeah, it's the ultimate people watch. Because people post on there and it takes you to somewhere else and boom, boom, boom. Before you know it, you don't spend an hour or two.
Watching people argue.
Yeah,
You gonna check
real
the
time.
retweet? You be checking the retweets and shit.
It's phenomenal.
I just love it because you can say whatever the fuck you want.
Hell yeah.
Nobody cares.
It's an
Donald Trump
instantaneous
did.
news check too. Like if you want to verify something, you can go to Twitter because it's instantaneous. Like,
I don't like people faster than Twitter on deaths with TMZ. You be looking in the house and shit, be like, hey, you about to die in a car crash. Like, huh? And then next thing you know, man, guess what? I'm dead in the car crash.
And it's on Twitter that you tweeted.
Hell yeah. But anything you want to let people know?
Yeah, check out the podcast. Sorry We're Canceled. Now That's Debatable. You can join our Facebook group. I got Facebook groups for all 3 podcasts. The Pat Down group that you can join. You can join the Sorry We're Canceled group. You can join the Now That's Debatable podcast group. You can search all those in your search history on Facebook. If you want to join those, we post clips from the show. We have topic discussions, and we get things that we might talk about on the show. So it's a community. It's a friendly, safe space for people who are just looking to have a good time without all the bullshit. Just you can follow podcasts all there and find out what's going on with me. To all those.
Definitely. He said you be the White Rabbit next week.
Yes.
Next week and hosting next week at Healing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna try to get out there on the 20th, man. We can get out there with the crew, man. We can set the fucking unity around here so we can
Just
start
when you start moving
fight.
around, like just cover. You used to like move around and cover certain people, been on the podcast, saying.
They gave us free now, so we can do that.
Definitely, man. I'm trying to get out there. Have these? I know they sell shit out. I'm out here friends with the motherfucker on the thing. I couldn't even get in. I don't even want to put nobody out there like that. They sold out. Are they selling tickets right now?
Yes, tickets are on sale.
A strong 50 of them. That's why it's hard to get a ticket over there.
As I slander Jason subtly. Jason, I'm gonna come and see you about that. About
only
that.
2 tickets. We sold out though.
But no, definitely appreciate you.
Those 2 people kind of sold out.
They do. Appreciate you being here.
Thank y'all for having me on. It was a fun, heated discussion that we got to have. I love seeing your lip quiver at busting Nick upside the head with some facts he didn't have. I appreciate the dialogue, just having the opportunity. And I want to thank you 3 for being in your home and on to your podcast. I appreciate that.
Definitely, I appreciate you. You ever have anything that you want to come on and talk about, promote? Good conversation. I enjoyed it. Come here anytime. Anytime you bored on Tuesday and you don't feel like zooming. In-person shit. Come here and kick it with us. Anything you want to say, Juby? You fucking called to the Golden Gloves. It's your fault. You fucked up the Golden
I
Gloves.
feel for you. I really did. I know what that's like.
Damn, I know somebody else. There's a lot of people.
Somebody else.
Nah, I was thinking about how it resonate through the community. Like, fuck.
Well, shit, Golden Gloves is canceled, but I would say the Superstar show, but it's the Pookie Jones show now, man. It's week on June 19th, and man, I'm about to whoop somebody ass, man. You don't want to miss that shit, cause I'll be on some super fly, flashy shit.
God damn you,
So come on and watch me, man. I'm one of the best fighters you probably ever gonna see in a long time.
And what's the date?
June 19th.
June 19th at the Hammond Casino.
Yes, sir.
Have they?
Casino.
Yeah. Them tickets want to sell or anything?
Man, we just working it out. They posted on sale. I just ain't got my ticket yet, so I'm trying to sell them motherfuckers myself. I ain't tell nobody to buy tickets from the promoters or nothing. I'm like, hey, get my motherfucking tickets, so we waiting on them. I put the heat on them by dropping that poster. You feel me? So we gonna do that. Send me the cash. We can get
Send me the cash.
Motherfucker shit pump. I call that motherfucker. Who is this? See me? We ain't playing with y'all, but yeah, check me out there.
Yes, sir.
Have they mentioned anything about an opponent?
Yeah, they gave us an opponent, man. I can't remember his name, but he can fight, man. He can fight. He been fighting for a long time. He's old. Kind of fell off, but he gonna come to fight, man. He gonna come to fight. We should. Hopefully.
What weight class are you?
130.
Okay.
130, 126.
Slim fit.
So I need to lose like 10 and 12 pounds.
Oh, he decided you up. He ready to ball.
I need to get out of this weight class. No fights over here.
That's what you make at 130.
Yeah.
You be dangerous that tall, wasn't he? At 130.
I actually wanted to box when I was a kid till I got punched in the face. I was like, I don't want to do this.
Every time.
You got fat.
That tingle in your nose, how do you get past that, bro? That tingle in the nose is just, that's the feeling I'd never get comfortable
Soccer
with.
ball.
Like,
Getting hit, Terry.
Somebody change your
I
life.
don't like getting hit, but if I get hit, it's just like, alright. That's what we doing.
I get that feeling like, what am I getting on there? I want to shoot this thing. Hit me in front of all these people. I don't know how they do it. I really don't. I applaud fighters for real. Like to me, that is the most shit that like the courage it takes to get beat up in front of people.
It's the hardest sport.
Not just people, your children,
Yeah.
your girls.
It's the hardest
And you can't do nothing about it afterward. Like they don't let you.
No, you gotta say you can't go
shoot.
You know what I mean? It's like
can't nobody in his house with me.
You can't
Go
say your big
everybody in his
brother.
house.
Right, you can't say your big brother.
Black Assassin's Creed, what's happening?
Monday, Michael's Soul Kitchen in Indianapolis. If I'm not killing motherfuckers. May 26th, we in Chicago at Riddles. It might just be fucking open mic, but I'm doing more than the regular open mic, I think. Nah, it's Damon Williams show. We just going up to do some time.
And what time is the Michael Soul Kitchen next week?
Let's say 7.
I'm fucking with that. I'm be on my motherfucking
Like,
comedy.
this is gonna be happening.
I need to
It's
meet
like
them
an open
motherfuckers.
microphone and a show afterwards.
No.
So come on down to Michael's Soul Kitchen.
Put this in my calendar, Michael Soul Kitchen Monday, White Rabbit the following Friday. You doing Friday?
Yes.
Friday.
Yeah.
This week at Helium, next week.
It's not a disappointment, man. It's one of my favorite comedians to watch too.
Who?
Deon.
Oh yeah. Shout out to Uncle Buck. He gave you a shout out too.
Oh, yeah.
Buck.
Yeah.
He gave you a shout out. There's a lot of people went in and shit. I almost took down the picture. Didn't get too much shit on my picture. I'm a motherfucking hater. Look at me. Look at me. Why you ain't standing by me? I'm introverted too. I look weird at the airport too. You know? Shout out to Deon for coming through. Shout out for to the squad, Renaissance Juvie and Gold Jason, motherfucking R Chicago killer, who makes you laugh at the same time. We will be back next week. Our first time not having a guest in a minute unless somebody pop up.
You never know. Tune in,
You never
motherfuckers.
know. You never know. We'll be back next week on the best podcast you never heard of, The Conceited Nobody.